What up? It's Jimmy from Odds.com. This is a clip from our big NBA show. If you want to check out the entire show, hit the link at the bottom of the screen. It's available exclusively on Odds.com. And let's move on for us, Dutch. We move on to Mavericks Pacers. This is a much better spot for us. We have a full market available for us. Pacers open up as 1-point favorites. That's where it stands right now. There is a 1.5 out of the couple books. This total has been rising quickly. Open at 217.5. There's 218.5 and 219, but the leading indicator offshores have already moved it to 219.5. Mavericks 6-7, 4-5 on the road at Pacers 8-5, 4-3 at home. Bankers Life Fieldhouse, Indianapolis, Indiana. Mavs over the last 5 games, 16th in pace at 99.90 possessions a game. Pacers 12th at 100.90 possessions a game. Mavericks have lost 3 straight, with the last 2 coming by double digits. They're coming off a 116-93 home beatdown delivered by the Raptors on Monday night. They shot just 37.8% from the field, 25% from 3. Luka Doncic had an off night, 15 points, 9 assists, 7 boards. Tim Hardaway, speaking of off nights, 0 for 12 from the field, 0 for 6 from 3, 0 points. This is a player that, Dutch, you often back in player props. I wonder if after that offer you find him appealing. Jay Rich, Dorian Finney-Smith, Max Kleber, Dwight Powell all remain on the inactive list due to health and safety protocols with COVID. Indiana had their 2-game winning streak snapped in an ugly 129-96 loss at the Clippers on Sunday. This is a beat-up squad. You have Karis LeVert out with the kidney, TJ Warren out with the foot injury. Miles Turner is now day-to-day with a hand injury, and Jeremy Lamb out with the knee injury, and Jakar Sampson day-to-day with the back injury. It's Brogdon and Sabonis that have been carrying this team. Only players to have started all 13 games. Brogdon averaging 22 points, 22.2 points, 7.5 assists. Sabonis averaging 21.7 points, 12.8 boards, and 5.8 assists. He's filling out the stat sheet. We're going to start with Dutch. Looks like we got Wham Bam back in action. Dutch, get us rolling here. Mavericks Pacers.
Okay, Jim. So I like you said, the Mavs lost 3 in a row. Luka's been playing well. He did have an off game. The Pacers, they obviously are missing TJ Warren. Then they lose Oladipo. They expect LeVert to come back. He's not there. Big piece missing now. I believe Turner says he's going to play. He practiced today with that hand issue. I'm sure he'll be able to get some rebounds and blocks, but I don't think he's going to be shooting too much. But we'll see. But when I look at this game, the Mavs are 5-2 in their last 7 ATS. They're 5-2 last 7 versus the Pacers ATS. I could only look the Mavs here because of where the Pacers are simply with the injuries. I think obviously we do have some players out for the Mavs, but like we've already went over plenty of times, the Mavs are deep. They did get their ass. They are coming off an ass whooping, as is the Pacers. But I think this might be a good spot here for the Mavericks. As you mentioned, Hardaway, he had a horrible game. Didn't make a shot, 0 points, 0 for 12 from the field, minus 12, and he's averaging 17 on the year. Papa Tim wouldn't have been too happy at that. I'm sure wasn't too happy with what he's seen. I expect Hardaway to have a big game back. He's actually averaged in his last 3 matchups versus the Pacers. He's averaging 25 a game. Coming off the last meeting, he had 30. So we know the kid can score. He can put it in the bucket. I like the matchup, especially with Oladipo being out, not on the Pacers no more. And then, of course, with LeVert not being there, I expect Hardaway to have a big game, anywhere between 20 to 22 points. I didn't see a number, but I think we'll find a good number that's appealing, and we'll lock that in as soon as we can, Jim, unless you see a number there now, sir.
No numbers yet. Again, with all the players out of this game, the books are very nervous about what they lay because you could really attack it. Dutch looking at Hardaway props.
And also, quick, Jim, I'm looking at Sabonis, as you mentioned, as we talked about, Turner being beat up. He's really what they got down low. I think he is their number 1 option. Brogdon obviously can score as well and has been putting up great numbers. But I think Sabonis is their most talented offensive player. Now he's averaging 23 and 14 his last 2 versus the Mavs, and he's coming off a 17-point rebound game his last meeting against the Mavs. So I would really see if the points aren't just too much, but I'm also going to look at rebounds. I'm going to really look at the rebound prop for Sabonis.
Sabonis rebound prop makes a ton of sense. All right, Hardaway points prop and Sabonis rebound prop. Let's hear what Wham has to say about this spot. Tricky. Mavericks, Pacers.
Very,
Take it away.
very tricky, bro. I think it's very tricky. Like you see, I said, a lot of these guys are out. Bronson is back, so that is a little bit help for Luca. So I do understand why you're leaning Mavericks here. KP back as well, but I mean KP kind of got punked last game against Toronto. I don't want nothing to do with this Dallas team. This Dallas they seem a little soft, bro. It was a moment where Tim Hardaway did a move. OG tried to punk him, and do a little back down move on him. He got a call in his favor. The next play down, OG just does the same exact thing to KP, and he just folds. So I'm like, wait a second, I don't got no idea for this Dallas team to have any toughness. Now they do have James Johnson, who is supposed to be tough. But that's the only guy that they have now. I mean, Josh Richardson is out, I believe. They have other players that's out. Finley Smith, who plays really well defense, really good getting the three down. It looks like Luka's been carrying this team a little bit too much, in my opinion. There's only so much he can do. He is looking great for MVP right now, but other than that, I honestly don't see anything other than that. But as far as this Indiana team, them losing out on, getting rid of. I'm sorry, Victor Oladipo when he really wanted to leave from the beginning of the season. That's a plus. Same thing with James Harden. Getting bad, toxic guys out of the locker room and may make a big difference. I believe it is going to make a big difference for this Indiana team because he was shooting 20 attempts a game, shooting at 20% from three, 36 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 34% from the field. Victor Oladipo in his last 3 games, while in the last 6 games for Justin Holiday, he's shooting 54% from the field and about 48% from three. You're looking at Dougie McBuckets. He's shooting even at a higher clip from three, shooting at 54% and 65 from the field these last 6 games. Those guys getting a big more of the bulk of that offense, I think now, because those 20 field goal percentages are out. So I like Indiana here, and honestly, I want to take them. Take Indiana and put that down as a play for me, bro.
There you go, man. I was gonna say all that. You better lock that shit in, bro.
I agree with the breakdown. I agree with
that sounded good.
I do think Luka talked about how poorly he played in the second half, 2 back, when he had 30 points in the first half and he started, taking shots that he didn't need to take. He was forced. He was playing for stats. And then that was obviously in his head in the last game. And I hate when Luka feels like he's got to make up for poor performances because he's the best player on the floor by quite a bit. But if I had the free play, I'd take the Pacers. And the Pacers have moved to 1.5. They've moved to 1.5 already at FanDuel. Let's see what they are over at Bet365. Again, we use the legal license books. So do you want – it's up to you. You could have the Pacers minus 1.5 at minus 106, the Pacers minus 1 at minus 110, or the Pacers money line minus 115.
Let's just do the money line. It just makes more sense to do the money line. You get the 1.5.
Pacers minus 115. And I agree with this. I agree with this move. And Mavericks, this has been a tough trip for them.
I believe Miles Turner's out too. If I'm not mistaken.
We're not sure.
He practiced today. He got a fracture. He said he shouldn't try to run. So, but I would definitely lean Pacers if he would. I think they miss Warren as well.
They do.
There's no way I'm betting the Pacers here. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I like the Mavericks here. I do think it's gonna be a tough spot. I see better games on the board. I think this is gonna be a great game to watch. But they got a better coach. They got the best player, and they're coming off an ass whooping. I just think, and the trend points to them as well. So it's Dallas or none for me. But I'll let it slide. And maybe if the points come more my way by morning, I'll lock that in, Jim.
I am going to move on the Pacers as well. Coming back home after the ass kicking from the Clippers. I like the Raptors today, but they're not a good squad, and they absolutely trounced the Mavericks. I certainly would rather be trounced by the Clippers and then be heading home rather than getting beaten by the Raptors, still playing with the short bench. But it scares me going against Luka. But I'm going to move on the Raptors move on the Pacers with Wham. All right, so that is locked in. Dutch looking for Hardaway points props, bonus rebounds props. They're not out yet. Wham on the Pacers, and I'm following suit on the Pacers.